One of the most iconic parts of the Seder is when we bring up the four sons. We have the wise son, the wicked son, the simple son, the son that doesn't even know how to ask. They all come to our Seder and they all ask their questions, and over the course of the Haggadah, we actually are able to answer all of them. What's very interesting though is the order of these sons. Notice how the Rasha, the wicked one, is actually not the worst. He is the second, placed right after the Chacham. For some reason, the She'eni Yedei Elishal, the child who doesn't even know how to ask, he is considered the worst one, while the Rasha, the wicked one, is not. And the question is, why is that? Seemingly, a more fitting order would be the Chacham, the wise one, then the Tam, the simple one, then the She'eni Yedei Elishal, the one who doesn't even know how to ask, and then at last place, the Rasha. But that is not the case. We also need to understand, how is it possible that there are wicked Jews in the world? Anyone who's learnt a little bit of the Pesach story knows that any wicked Jew, any Jew who did not believe in God's miracles, any Jew who did not believe in God's powers was actually killed during the plague of darkness. So how are there wicked people right now? Explains the Rebbe that the idea is that because the redemption from Egypt, because our Geula from Mitzrayim was actually not a complete redemption, we were so sunken in to our impurities, we were so sunken in to our desires that we didn't even know what it meant to leave, to the point where we actually had to run away from ourselves. Hashem took us and grabbed us out, and therefore it played out in a physical sense. That Pare actually thought we escaped, even though he sent us out, because in a way, on a spiritual sense, we did run away. We ran away from the bad that we couldn't fully eradicate back then. The reason why there are wicked Jews in the world is because the bad that was in us when we left Egypt was not fully eradicated, and therefore it does come back from time to time. But that doesn't mean the Rasha is a bad person. Notice how the Rasha is mentioned second in the list of the sons. Why? Because the wicked son has a drive, he has a bother, he is disturbed by the fact that we care so much about this stuff. And really, he's just begging to know why. Therefore, if you tell him and explain to him the importance of Pesach, the importance of our redemption, he's actually going to be just as smart as the Chacham. He'll be just as wise as the wise son, which is why he's mentioned second, because he has the potential to be the first. But notice how the child mentioned last is the She'eni Yedei Elishal, the one who doesn't even know how to ask. Explains the Rebbe the reason for this is because the She'eni Yedei Elishal, this child is not ignorant at all. In a way, he has a bigger problem than the Rasha, because the Rasha, the wicked son, never denied the fact that it has nothing to do with him. He is just struggling to understand why it has something to do with him. He asks, what is this stuff that you're doing? Why does it apply to me? But he knows it applies to him. The She'eni Yedei Elishal, the child who doesn't even know how to ask, is very smart in just about everything else except for holy matters. When it comes to something holy, he's cold. He doesn't say a word, he doesn't want to talk about it, he wants to exclude it from his life, and if someone hadn't dragged him to this Seder, he wouldn't be sitting here. And explains the Rebbe, notice the response that we give to the She'eni Yedei Elishal. The Haggadah tells us, At Pesach, we should open for him. As it says, Shenemar, V'higadata levincha, ba'yaymahu lemar, ba'avur Zeh asa Hashem li b'tzeisi mitzrayim. What do we say? As the pasuk tells us, because of this, because of you, Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Our response to the She'eni Yedei Elishal is that Pesach has everything to do with you. Ba'avur zeh, because of this, because of you, because of every single Jew individually, were they all taken out of Mitzrayim. When the Rasha asks, why does Pesach apply to me? He knows it applies to him and just wants to know why. When this child, the She'eni Yedei Elishal, when he is just sitting there in silence, not asking anything, he is actually asking a bigger question than the Rasha, because he actually doesn't believe that it applies to him. And this response tells him that actually everything applies to you. It in fact was because of you, it was because of every single Jew on an individual level that Hashem took the entire Jewish people out of Egypt. This is the response we're meant to give ourselves as well, because we all have questions no matter what time of year it is on why certain things apply to me. Am I really doing something? When I do something holy, when I do a mitzvah, am I really accomplishing amazing things? This is the answer we're meant to give ourselves. Every single Jew was taken out of Mitzrayim because every single Jew has a mission and a purpose, and it's up to all of us to fulfill that purpose, to go out into the world and do whatever we could do to bring Mashiach, may he come speedily in our days. Wishing you a kosher and a freilich Pesach and a good Yom Tov.